And so our topic today is practicing gratitude. Now, being grateful, saying thank you is a part of our culture. And so every time when we say thank you, if that thank you comes from the heart, then we are already been practicing a lot of gratitude. But sometimes when things are done too often, too regularly, they tend to become a kind of a ritual, a social ritual. And so it's possible that we might say thank you and not necessarily always have our heart filled with gratitude. Or we might just say good morning or good day and not necessarily always be like with the feeling, may you have a good morning. So sometimes these things get ritualized. And so it's good that whatever the history, most of you are familiar with the history of the Thanksgiving Day, or how it came about. If you have not read about it recently, then it's easy to just go to any source, and Wikipedia is probably the easiest to, if you want more details about how this day came about. Apart from the history, it's good that there is this one day. It gives us a chance to, besides the celebration and all of that, besides it being a beginning of the shopping season for Christmas, there are all these other meanings gotten attached to this observation. But nevertheless, this does give us a chance to think about what being thankful means, what being grateful means. Sometimes it's helpful to step back from our own life, because sometimes when we look at our life and say, what is my life really? Because the things that have happened in our life since the time we were born, those things are already over. That's happened already. All that remains with us about our past are the memories that we have. As for the future of our life, we don't know what is in future. So what we have about our future are our dreams and hopes about tomorrow, about next year, about the next 10 or 20 years. So our life, as we understand it, is hopes and dreams about the future, memories of the past, and then this present. But the present is not a very stable thing in a way, because every moment, this present moment, the very next moment, this present moment has become a past moment. And so it's difficult to hold on to the present, because the moment we try to hold on to it, the very next moment that has become past. And so it's kind of a changing thing. And so what oftentimes happens is sometimes we dwell too much in the memories of the past, or too much about dreams and hopes about the future, with the result that the present, which is difficult to grasp with anyway, we just miss the present. It's possible, therefore, that days and weeks and months may pass, and we may not even know that they have passed until someday we pause and say, oh, sometimes it happens. We celebrate the new year, and then it just seems like, oh, there's a year ahead of me. And then very soon we find, well, it's already November now. And it didn't seem too long ago that we thought, oh, 2023, now it's 2024. Time for 2024 to arrive. If we look back at our life also, irrespective of whatever age group we belong to, we might see that it's really moved very fast. Not just the last year, maybe even last 5, 10, 20 years. The past moved very fast. And the illusion of time is such that when we think about the next 20 years, it makes us feel like it's a long way, it's a long time. But again, if my past 20 years have moved very quickly, there is no reason why the next 20 years should be any slower. So that's when we begin to ask ourselves, what is this life really? What do I have? And as I said about the past, we have memories. But again, we don't remember everything of our past. Only certain memories stick around. There are certain memories we don't have because we were just too young, too small. How many of us, we don't remember anything that happened in our life when we were 1 week old or 1 month old. And some people can remember what happened maybe they were 1 year or 2 years old. But even then, it's a very vague sort of memory, unless we have heard it from some elders in the family, people who are older than us, who were around when we were little babies. And then they kept on telling us, oh, when you were a little baby, this is what you used to do. Well, that was a part of my life, but I don't remember anything of it unless I hear it. And then it's become kind of a second-hand memory, something that I did, which I don't remember, but I've heard from some of the older people around me. And it's almost like reclaiming your life through the memory of someone else. And then there are a lot of memories we have, not only about our life, but about the life of people around us. And if we have not shared those memories with anyone, and there may be some things only we know, and not many people around may know, and if we pass away without sharing it, then that thing is gone forever. And so that's the thing about memories. I remember many years ago, my mother told me about my cousin. One of my cousins, she is about 11 years older than me. And so my mother said, when you were a little baby, so this cousin, she would often come she was just a 10 or 11-year-old kid. So she would often say, tell my mother, oh, I will take care of the baby. You take rest. So she would kind of babysit me for a while. Now, my cousin herself had never told me that. And until I heard this from my mother, that, oh, when I was a little baby, she took care of me. And then after that, whenever I have seen her, whenever I met her, I remembered, oh, she took care of me. And then I feel grateful for something that was part of my life. I had no idea about it unless and until when I was told about it. So that kind of set me thinking about what memories do. And we have seen on earlier occasions that memories are a tricky thing in some ways. Because memories are two kinds of memories. It can be very pleasant, wonderful memories of the past, which can be very nourishing, because if the present is painful, then sometimes we kind of retreat into some of the joyful memories of the past or dreams about the future. But sometimes some memories of the past can also be very painful. And one of the challenges in life then is to try to wrestle with those memories and try to somehow integrate them into our life. But whatever we are today, any of us, we are a resultant of everything that has happened in our life. And so thinking about life in this way, I have found the only natural response to everything that has happened in the past, everything that may or may not happen in the future, is to just be grateful. One of the things we have to guard against is a sense of entitlement, in the sense that we all have our own idea about what a life should be, what my life, everyone can say what my life should be. And so when things go well in our life, we kind of assume, well, that's how things should be. When things don't go that well, then we say, oh, there's something wrong. And so we feel kind of an entitlement to a life that is peaceful and harmonious. And when it doesn't match with our present experience, we feel robbed, we feel cheated, we get angry, we try to find who is responsible for messing up my life. We either blame other people, or if not, we can sometimes get angry with God and said, why isn't God helping me? Why would God allow this to happen? And so on.